owner stole the plaintiff's clothes, and the reason she moved out is because she was tired of the plaintiff wearing and damaging her clothes.
Ms. Malky, you're suing Ms. Goodwin for $685, your former roommate, for allegedly stealing your clothes, half of the utility bills and rent, I suppose, right?
Right.
All right. Make your case.
First of all, I can't believe I'm here suing my best friend. She was my best friend for... She's my best friend for 6 years. We went to school together. We were in cheerleading together. After I had my boyfriend move out, she got word of it from other friends. And
she did what?
She got word of it from other friends that my boyfriend had moved out and that I lived right down the road from her work. So she came and she looked at my apartment and with the understanding, you know, that she might move in. She came with her now ex-boyfriend, my witness, Aaron.
He's your witness now?
Yes.
Go ahead.
She came and looked at the apartment. We agreed that we would each pay half the bills, half the rent, and we would share a one-room apartment until the lease was up.
One bedroom?
One bedroom.
Where the three of y'all sleep?
In separate beds in the same room.
Huh?
In separate beds in the same room.
Oh, okay. Separate beds, but the same bedroom.
Right.
Okay.
We got along as far as I understand. We got along as far as I understand. I was away one weekend babysitting my little sister at my parents' house, and I came home to find her and Erin moving her things out of the apartment. And I was like, well, what's going on? And she's like, well, I'm homesick. I got other stories from other people. She was telling people I was charging her more rent, which is not true. I have the lease. I have the canceled check. Half of the, you know, everything was split in half. I had never lied about any of that. She took a lot of my things when she left, and she bragged to Aaron about it. When I noticed this, I did call him because I introduced them. He was my friend before I even knew her.
Oh, okay.
I introduced them, and they started dating. And so he is also a friend of mine, you know, as well as her boyfriend, you know.
Did you date him also?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
Don't mention that you're dating now, though.
No, I'm
You're
not.
dating now?
No. No, I'm not. Well, since she gave me no notice until the day she was actually leaving, I had to move out because I didn't have any money set aside to start living by myself again. So when I realized when I was packing to move back home to my parents' house that she took my things, I called Aaron and asked him if he had seen her take any of my stuff, and he said he had, but he figured he would let it be between us since we were, you know, we were friends, and he was friends with both of us. He didn't want to get in the middle until he was questioned about it. And I tried getting a hold of Shanna. I tried leaving voicemails on the phone, the cell phone.
Voicemails. Thank you.
Not harassing voicemails, just
About your
voicemails,
things?
asking about my things, asking for the money for the bills. I did call her work one time to ask for her, and my cell phone cut out. And the next day I heard, I got a call from the police saying that I was saying that she sold drugs to somebody or something at the school. I called to ask her about my things. I did not call her work.
Let me let her speak now. Ma'am, she says you owe her money because you moved out early without notice, leaving her with bills, and you stole her clothing.
Well, part of that's correct, part of it's not. I moved out of the home or the apartment because she was using my things without asking. She ripped clothes that still had tags on them. She was ruining things of mine. She wore my bathrobe. I've had people...
How long did you stay there with her?
Not even 2 months, Your Honor.
When did she start all that?
Well, we, like she said, had been friends for a while before, and we shared clothes. And it got to the point where she was ruining things of mine, and I'm kind of picky about that, so I had asked her if we not share clothes anymore. And so we agreed, and then she still continued to do it. And I had heard from a mutual friend of ours that she was wearing my bathrobe one night when he stopped by. And so at that point, I had just said that I wasn't going to take it anymore. And so I had asked Aaron if he'd help me move my things out. And I moved everything out within probably an hour and a half.
Without notice. And then what bills did you leave? Did you leave without having paid that month's bill?
When I moved in, we never had an agreement of either written or verbal.
Did you ever give her any money?
Yes, I did, Your Honor, and I have canceled checks for every bill that had ever came to the house while I was staying there.
What was that? What were the amounts based on?
Exactly 50%.
Right. So you agreed to pay half the bills.
No, I paid half the bills because that was what I did.
Right. because that's what you agreed to do.
Judge Mathis settles the fight between the ex-roommates when we return. Tony Malicki says the defendant owes her for stolen clothes and unpaid bills.
Anyhow, what about her clothing? Did you take any of her clothing?
No, Your Honor, I did not.
So if your ex-boyfriend gets up here and says that, he's lying, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you a lie. Come on. State your name.
All right, Your Honor. I'm gonna lie here, but I seen her take all her clothes. She put them in a big plastic bag when she was going through all her clothes. But they always had clothes shared, so I didn't think nothing of it. But she was showing me her clothes, putting them all in a white plastic bag.
She showed them to you and told them they were hers.
She would be like, this was her sweater, and this was her sweater.
Regarding these clothes, ma'am, what estimate do you have for the clothes that were taken from you?
About $260.
And the bills you're referring to, what are they for?
Excuse me, Your Honor, I would like to add that the whole time I was staying there, due to the fact that she could never afford all of her bills, she always had late charges, so I would ask her to show these bills.
I have them
To
in
you?
hand.
What else, ma'am?
That would be it.
She didn't owe you for any rent that month?
No. She left 2 days before the restaurant was due.
Okay.
Your Honor, I would like to go back to the harassing phone calls. I have a letter from my boss. The woman who answered the phone knows her because at the time when
What
we were
did she
living
do
together,
to you at your work?
she called my boss, asked to speak with my boss, impersonated a little girl, and said that I had the drugs to her little brother's friend, and that she
My little brother's 5 years old.
insists that I either get a drug test or be fired for that. And my boss told her that I was a respected employee and that was just slander.
Okay. Any other evidence? Not, I'll be back. Once again, ma'am, you're suing your ex-roommate for $685. Alleging she owes you this money for half the bills that she left you with when she out without notice and for stolen clothes. With regard to the clothing, your witness, who happens to be her ex-boyfriend, said that he was there when they moved her things, and he witnessed her taking your items. Ma'am, I don't know whether he's doing this out of vengeance or whether it's out of truth, but at this point, she said you took them, and she brought an eyewitness who said you took them, so I'm going to grant her that $260 for the clothing. Lastly, with regard to the bills, you allege that there was no agreement on how much you would pay her for bills, although she says that the agreement was that you would pay half, and all the checks you presented me coincidentally represented half of the bills. That leads me to believe the agreement was indeed half. As such, I'm going to hold you accountable for half the remaining bills for that month, $216.55. Total judgment with the close of $476.55. Have a good day.
She bribed him to come here.
She
with
wanted-
And
money
that's what they
to
want
left
to
for her.
say. He came to my house last night trying to get me to do things with him so that they could say I bribed him, which I
Okay.
didn't.
Only lies like everybody else is out to get you.
Right. She claims we were best friends for 6 years, but we were never best friends, and it was not for 6 years. She can think whatever she wants.
I guess we weren't going out for 3, so I don't know.
No, we weren't, actually.
Of course not.
When you make videotapes of people while they're sleeping, try to undress them and things like that, usually you get dumped and, yeah.